We are back in action. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our green set review for Shadows over Innistrad. The complete set review is here. I am Evan Irwin.
I'm Brad Nelson.
And we're here to talk about every green card in Shadows over Innistrad. We're going to begin with Autumnal Gloom. It's a green and 2 generic mana uncommon enchantment for a black mana : you put the top card of your library into your graveyard. So it literally... Go on.
Fuels Delirium.
Yes, it fuels Delirium, and yes, there are sirens behind me. It happens. However, it also has a Delirium ability. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 4 or more card types amongst cards in your graveyard, you transform Autumnal Gloom into... Wait for it, because I didn't select the window.
Ancient of the Equinox.
Ancient of the Equinox, a 4/4 trample hexproof. That is fantastic. So basically, for 3 mana, you get to pair up with your black cards. This is the power uncommon for the green-black deck. A 4/4 trample hexproof is fantastic, and I love it. So I think this card is great.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome, and it could potentially see center play as something that actually can get in front of reflector mages.
Yes, which I think is great. And I mean, ultimately, it's just an enchantment that turns into a creature, which is amazing. And also, its ability is so good, you don't need to have this in a black-green deck. If I'm playing a green-white or whatever, or a green-blue something, I'll happily play this card.
Yeah, if you have a really good chance to hit Delirium, that's completely true.
I mean, do you think that you need to, do something to help fuel Delirium to make this card playable?
Probably not. It just helps to have the ability activated. I feel like it's going to happen a lot quicker because of it.
Right. I mean, and I don't think there's any argument there. But arguments against playing this card because you need Delirium enablers, it's a little bit extreme. But it reminds me back in the day when Tarmogoyf showed up, and everybody's like, well, you need to be able to get cards in the graveyard, otherwise this card isn't very good. And I'm like, okay.
There's a difference because you do need Delirium for it to have any impact on the game without black in your deck.
Sure.
So I just feel that maybe it's not going to have as high of an impact as you're wanting unless you can activate the ability so you can guarantee it in a couple turns.
Say that last part one more time.
So you can guarantee it in a couple turns.
Sure.
I do feel like you're going to need black.
I mean, I don't agree with that at all. Personally, I would say that there's a lot of ways that this card will make your opponent start playing. For example, you play Autumnal Gloom and you attack with your guys, and the creature would be the 4th card type in your graveyard.
But then what are the other 3?
I don't know, a artifact, land, something.
What?
Instant. I don't. Come on.
Come on, what?
No, come on. Why are you supposed to come on here to work with me here?
Creature is going to be the most common in your graveyard.
I would expect it to be. I'm just saying. Fine. I think this card is very playable. I think this card is very good.
I do too.
Duskwatch Recruiter is a green and a generic mana 2/2, so we're already starting off with a bear. I'm good there. It's an uncommon human warrior werewolf that for a green and 2 generic mana : you look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand, and you put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of each upkeep, it's got the werewolf trigger of if no spells were cast last turn, you transform it into the Crowlin Horde Howler, where creature spells you cast cost 1 generic mana less to cast. And like all werewolves, if the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, you transform it back. So the front side of this card is amazing. The back side is fine. The front side seems ridiculous and limited. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, I actually like this card, and I think it is standard playable.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I am the only one in that camp out of my test group, but I just have this feeling that it being able to work in combination with cards like Avacyn or Stasis Snare, for example, where you're able to flip it in the early turns using a removal spell you'd use. Perfect case scenario is this creature's not going to die, right? So you have this 2/2. You can say go, it flips. Now you can Dromoka's Command to fight something, and now you have a 4/4. Next turn, if it's still on its werewolf side, you have a 4 mana Avacyn that you can cast. And then later in the game, a green-white deck is going to need card advantage, which this card can fuel. Also, even that turn 4 Avacyn could just be a turn 4 morph plus flip up on Den Protector. So cards like Den Protect or Dromoka's Command, Stasis Snare, and Avacyn are going to allow this card to flip. I feel like it's going to change dynamics in games, and it might be the 2-drop that a green-white deck is going to want because Sylvan Advocate and well, Fleece Mainline's gone. Sylvan Advocate isn't really a card that I want to play in a deck that doesn't have creature lands.
Sure.
And so I feel like a green white deck, like a green white Megawork deck, is going to be looking for a card like this. And I feel like this fits a role in the deck specifically that'll be good and utilized with a deck with flash creatures like Avacyn. And I don't know. I've been working with it a little bit. Haven't tested enough with it, but it has potential in my mind.
It's what I would describe as a constructed level activated ability.
Yes, it definitely is.
It is that ability is pushed, and that ability in limited is crazy good.
Yeah,
Super good.
yeah. Very happy about this card. I will be trying to play it. I would not be shocked if I actually do.
Yeah, I mean, it seems terrific. We have Hermit of the Natternolls. First of all, that name's a win.
Natternoll.
Good old Natternoll. Yeah. Hermit of the Natternolls is a green and 2 generic mana 2/3. He's an uncommon human werewolf. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, you draw a card. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, you transform him into Lone Wolf of the Natternolls. He's old, but he's going to kick your ass. He's a 3/5 that whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, you draw 2 cards instead. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, you transform it back into Lone Wolf, or you transform it back into the Hermit. So this card is pretty much awesome, and there's nothing really wrong with it. I don't see it in constructed in any way, but in limited, I'm basically playing this every single time.
Yeah, no, very very good card. Very good card in limited. Not going to see constructed play, and it might be my favorite flavor text in the set.
He hates company, dot, dot, dot.
But it'll have you for lunch.
Yeah, he will. That's terrific and funny. Hinterland Logger is next. It's a green and a generic mana 2/1. It's a common human werewolf, and this one is just good old fashioned. At the beginning of each upkeep, no spells last turn. You flip him, or flip her rather, into a Timber Shredder, which she is a 4/2 trample. And of course has if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn at the beginning of each upkeep, you transform it back. So this is the kind of the good old fashioned aggressive green creature. It's 2 power for 2 mana. It's on your curve. You want to play it. It's a little, I don't know, obviously it's very fragile on the flip side, but it's going to get 4 power in there. And if you get that on turn 3, that's good.
Yeah, it's a common. They're not making them as good as they used to. It's gonna trade, maybe deal a couple extra points of damage. The front side's not that good. The back side, it's fine. I mean, I think that this is a lower level pick in the format, something that you might play if you're like really dedicated to a werewolf strategy and you have a lot of benefits for having werewolves.
Sure.
But it's not something that I would be excited to have multiples.
Right. I mean, like, I don't know, man. 2/1, like, this is the card. This was sort of the classic card in the original Innistrad that would just really punish you if you didn't have a 2-drop. And this one does still punish you for not having a 2-drop. However, it's not like, oh my god, I can never come back from this because it only has 2 toughness.
Yeah.
Which is nice, which appreciated. Lambholt Pacifist is next. It's a green and generic mana 3/3, so that's nice. A 2 mana 3/3. It's an uncommon human shaman werewolf that cannot attack unless you control a creature with power 4 or greater. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, you transform into the Lambholt Butcher. Yeah.
Now it doesn't need a 4-powered creature.
It is a 4-powered creature. It's a 4/4 and werewolfian. At the beginning of each upkeep, player casts 2 or more spells, you transform it back in. So this is a 3/3 that turns into a 4/4 that you're sometimes able to attack with, but you're always able to block with, and it seems pretty good.
Yeah, it seems very playable. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, I don't imagine a scenario where I'm like, all right, I don't want to play a 2 mana 3/3 because it might have this drawback in this scenario, but I'm probably going to have 4 power of guys anyway, or a guy with 4 power, as it were. So yeah, this card is terrific. Sage of Ancient Lore is next. It's a green and 4 generic mana Star, a rare human shaman werewolf. It has power and toughness equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. That's nice. So it's guaranteed to be at least a 1/1 when you top deck it, which is kind of
cool. That's not true.
What's that? Oh, because it's a trigger and it's just going to die.
Yeah.
Never mind. But it is going to make itself larger if you have at least 1 card in your hand. It's not a very good top deck when you have no cards in hand. However, at the beginning of each upkeep, no spells were cast, you transform it into Werewolf of Ancient Hunger. which is also a star, but this one has vigilance, trample, power, and toughness equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands, not just yours. And of course, at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, you flip it back over. So when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, not when it transforms back into Sage of Ancient Lore. So that's kind of a thing. But ultimately, I mean, this card is basically all upside. It's hard to say that it's, like, terrible, but there are situations I certainly know that I see myself in where, like, it might be, like, a 2/2 for 5 mana. And then it'll become a 3/3, so okay.
It replaces itself. It can get out of hand. Some games won't. It's a situational card, much like many cards from old Innistrad are and many from this set. We're going to see it overperform and underperform. But at the end of the day, it is going to replace itself, and usually, even if you were curving out, it's going to end up being like a 3/3 or a 4/4.
Right.
So you're fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be, like, upset or unhappy, per se. It's just that it's one of those cards that I think in your mind, you can make it look amazing, but I think in the real world, it could end up being, like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's all it is going to be, is okay.
Sure. But on the flip side, that guy is pissed.
Yeah, very angry, mostly because our opponent has cast spells and therefore doesn't have 7 cards, and it's not gigantic.
Yeah, it's really mad because it's almost like a Punisher card in some ways. Like, it's letting your opponent choose how large this creature is going to be, and that's always bad, literally always. So don't give your opponent the option of making things that you have bad. However, again, the upside is so high, it's hard to argue that you still don't want it.
Yeah.
Solitary Hunter is next, a green and 3 generic mana 3/4. So a 4 mana 3/4, I'm already on board. It's a common human warrior werewolf, and at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, you transform it into one of the pack, a 5/6. That at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, you transform it back. So this card is fantastic.
Yes, this is the premium common werewolf of the set. Definitely something that you're going to probably play multiples of, because getting 7 power and toughness for 4 mana is a very good rate.
Yeah.
More often we've seen it as a 4/3, but I think a 3/4 is just better, especially when we've looked, now we're in the 4th or the 5th color, and there are a lot of like 3/2s and 3/3s and things like that. So a 4/3 would trade more often than a 3/4, but 3/4 is also going to be able to threaten many lives. But once we get to a 5/6, the card is just gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, once it's a 5/6, it is ridiculous. If you play this on 4 and they don't have a 4-drop, like, wow, I just paid 4 mana for a 5/6. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, this card's very good.
And then they have to work twice as hard just to turn it back into a 3/4. Like, okay. I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. Now, Aim High Air Force is next. Anybody get that joke? Anybody get the Air Force joke? Brad, did you understand what I just did right there? Wow.
Aim High Air Force?
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even going to explain the joke because that means it's not funny. Go ahead and Google it if you want to figure it out.
Now?
No, not right now. I'm talking to the people who are watching. I'm hoping that the other old men in the audience are like, I got what you did there. And then we go, and then we get in our rocking chairs and we make it happen. Anyway, so for a green and a generic mana, it's a common instant that you untap target creature. It gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. There's been lots and lots and lots of these cards now that, I think there was one for like just 1 green mana in BFZ block that gave it like +1/+2 and you untapped it and it gained reach. And these spells have always been okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just being able to untap, like, this card is for 1 extra mana, gives 1 extra power than the last set's pump spell. I can't remember what it was called.
Sure.
But that card was great because it was 1 mana. Tricks that cost 1 mana are so much better than 2. And so this card is going to see play, but it's not going to be as good as that one. And but at the same time, it has 3 abilities on it. This gives a creature the ability to untap, +2/+2, as well as reach. So all 3 of these could come into play at the same time and take down a flying rare.
Sure, which is good. I mean, this is a card that you want to run in your like green decks when you don't have a lot of flyers or you don't have a lot of reach, because you don't want to just lose to a bunch of spirits or whatever because you weren't able to take them out. So
yeah, I like this card.
Yeah, Briarbridge Patrol is next. It's a green and 3 generic mana 3/3. It's an uncommon that whenever it deals damage to 1 or more creatures, you investigate. At the beginning of each end step, if you sacrifice 3 or more clues this turn, you may put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. That's an upside.
It is an upside, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool because if you just have three in play, you don't lose the tempo of sacrificing three clues. So that's like kind of a busted effect in my opinion, because
Hmm.
you could play like a six drop or even a seven drop by only investing six mana and getting all of your clues popped.
Right. I mean, basically, yeah. So I paid 6 mana. I got to draw 3 cards, and now I get to put a creature into play for free.
And that's at each end step, so you can surprise your opponent with like a pseudo flash creature at the end of their turn that they're not expecting to get attacked by.
Right. I mean, well, I can imagine if there's a world where they have a Briarbridge Patrol, 3 clues, and 6 mana, I'm going to kind of be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Like there's a few giveaways as it were, but I don't see this thing constructed by any means. Like, yeah, you're gonna put Emrakul into play that one time at that one kitchen table, but come on now. This is a sweet limited card, and I think that's where it's gonna stay.
Yeah.
Byway Courier is next. It's a green and 2 generic mana 3/2 common human scout. Whenever it dies, you investigate. So, okay.
Decent. It's going to trade and replace itself later in the game, which is completely fine.
Which is good. It's fine. I mean, it's got low toughness, so there's going to be problems that it's going to trade with 2 drops and maybe even 1 drops, if depending on what color you're in.
And yeah, it's also there's a lot of green cards as well as blue cards that do a lot of clue stuff,
Right.
and so that's like a synergistic deck. And so we're going to see a lot of cards that sacrificing clues give advantages. They produce a lot of clues in this color.
Right. And I think as we've just seen for the whole set, like there's a ton of clue generation going on here, and I've seen like on online or on Twitter where they're talking like, well, we were playing and we had all these clues out, and I had a bunch of clues out, and I've already drawn from like 4 or 5 clues. So I think clues are really going to change the dynamic of a lot of these limited games in particular, in ways that we've just never seen before.
That's what I said all last night.
Shut up.
That's what I was trying to say.
Well, you know what? I just said it again for you, okay? That's what I do here, Brad. I just speak again, and I'll be
Can
like,
we get
man.
to 8 mana? Well, I feel like we might be able to because clues are going to kind of just change how limited Magic plays.
And I'm like, well, after we go through 4 colors, maybe I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to you, but I'm going to check Reddit, and that guy said that thing, and therefore
That
you've got
one dude.
somebody agreeing with you.
I mean, come on now. Like, am I supposed to be listening to you or something?
You don't, you don't got to be listening to me. You just got to hear me.
Wow. Saw what you did there. Clip Wings is next. It's a green and a generic mana. It's a common instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. So, Brad, before I talk about this card, you tell me about this card.
Well, it's called Clipped Wings. It's 1 and a green instant, and each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I think the card is good.
Okay.
I think that it kills Thunderbreak without dealing green dex 3, which is very important.
That is good.
And also, Westvale Abbey creates this really difficult card to deal with if you're not playing white in standard, white or blue. And therefore, Clipped Wings might be the answer decks are going to have to look for to beat that card.
Wow. All right, so there's this format. It's called Pauper. It's
Oh.
really awesome.
Oh.
It's super sweet, and this card kills the...
Evan, you're
kills-
breaking. I think the connection. I don't know if I can finish.
Oh, God, we gotta keep going. Seriously, the card is sweet, and I like it, and I appreciate it. Confront the Unknown is 1 green mana for a common instant that says investigate, then target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each clue you control. So this is a giant clue growth.
Yeah, this card I think is very good
This card I think is really good.
because
Now, again,
even if it's like a Swift Justice in the sense that it can just target your opponent's thing at end of turn and then draw a card if you're like desperate. But at the same time, the sky's the limit on it. I really do think that this card is going to be very good unlimited.
yeah, I think in limited, like again, like if I'm drinking the Clue Kool-Aid, the Clue-Aid, if you will,
Fluid.
then I'm just telling you, this card is going to be doing really good things. It's going to be pumping +3/+3 up to +5/+5, or maybe even more. Who knows? If you have enough clues going on. But it's like, if you draft blue-green, I think you can definitely draft the blue-green, just all clues all the time deck.
Wow. Well, I'm just glad that after about 80% of the set review, you're finally getting a clue.
Wow. Okay. Crawling Sensation is next. It's a green and 2 generic mana. It's an uncommon enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere the first time each turn, you put a 1/1 green insect creature token onto the battlefield. So it gives me the creepy crawlies. Ew.
Yeah, I don't think this card's good. Maybe it's going to see play as a fringe card in standard. I don't
Wow.
think that. I don't think that either. No, I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying I don't understand why it exists. Maybe it helps fuel Delirium, and you get some 1/1s along the way. But I don't think those 1/1s are going to have a high impact on the game. So personally, I just think this is an all bust.
I would. I mean, I know it fuels Delirium. I get it. And it's a May trigger. That's important. And not only does it fuel Delirium and give you the ability to make some, and to kind of fill up your graveyard, but it's a May trigger, so you don't have to do it. And it gives you creatures on top of it, which is nice. Your deck's going to have more lands than anything else, so you're probably going to get a creature out of it when that happens.
I mean, I don't know why you're selling this like a car. No one's got to buy it.
No one got to buy it. There's plenty more in the lot.
You
know what I'm
don't
saying?
have to use it, which is a plus. You can just play the Jace the Mind Sculptor and then just not activate it.
Fine.
It'll be great. Trust me. It was like
Wow.
$100 once.
It still is $100.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
And so is the 2-mana overpowered mess. Cryptolith Rite is next. It's a green and a generic mana for a rare enchantment that says creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So everything becomes a bird of paradise for a green and a generic mana. Okay.
What do you think about this card?
I don't think this card's very good because
Five-bet?
usually... Wow, really?
Stab off 5-bet.
Really? You think this card's going to make the top 8s? Is that correct?
5-bet.
Pie bet.
Is that a shake?
Oh, that's the shake. That's the shake
All right.
of champions
so
right there.
I've got to get this into a top 8 before the next set.
Yep, before the next set.
All
Wow.
right.
I can't. Really? I'm over here going like, well, it's cute. It's bad in multiples. It's adorable once it hits and it makes all your guys be able to tap for mana. That's cool. But I see it more as like something that's cool than rather something that's competitive. So tell me what's going on here.
Well, if you looked over on some of the deck lists from Reddit, there was a really cool, interesting first draft of a Cryptolith Rite deck,
Okay.
and it plays like Blister Pod. The other thing that's from the set, I get to scroll, so I get to go find it.
Must be nice.
Like Loam Guardian or Loam. It's not. It's L. Oh yeah, this is alphabetical, so I can just look for the L's.
Yes, you can.
That's
look for
really
the Ls.
cool. It's like one of those old Loam Dryad.
Okay. What's Loam Dryad do?
Loam Dryad is a green. We can just do it right now. It's a green common Dryad horror that says tap an untapped creature control, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and it's a 1/2. So now what this card does is it helps just give your deck enough 1-drops, and you play Elvish Visionary, maybe a couple Evolutionary Leaps, Scion Summoners, along with the green and black one, the 2/3 that make the Scion. It's in Rally of the Ancestors.
Sure.
You
The
know,
Catacombs. Scepter?
Catacomb Scepter, yes.
Yep.
And you can then just generate a ton of mana and do all sorts of stuff. We don't really know what's the best late game for the deck, but it does end with casting Ulamog.
Wow.
Yeah, and the deck has been, and it's got Zendikar's Incarnate, I think, or Reincarnate, maybe it's Incarnate. The 7-mana enchantment that...
Oh, that like makes a mana flare basically or whatever?
yeah, and you can't trip off of all your spells. And a bunch of Westville Abbeys, like 4 of them. And so far, like, I played against this in a versus video today with Tom Ross, and he destroyed me with it.
Wow.
And he was just playing the Reddit 75 that didn't really have a sideboard, and now I've been working on this deck, and I feel like I've found a sideboard. It's in my article that goes up tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
no,
is the first time I've heard anyone. Well,
I
I mean,
knew that. I knew that you didn't hear about it, so I just had to snap the pie bat off immediately.
sure. I mean, well on GatheringMagic.com, I published an article with a Cryptolith Rite deck, and I was like, oh, like this is kind of cool, and it's fun, and it's casual, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it's not actually competitive. It's actually competitive.
I think it is.
How good is this thing in limited?
Probably bad.
It seems not that great, but I'm just asking questions because obviously I'm wrong about constructed.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong, and then I would be tasting a delicious pie after you've lost like the last eight. But
Wow, wow. Oh, that's how we're going to offset it, huh? It's like, well, the last date I was right, but I got it wrong on this stupid enchantment.
that's how it works for me. Yeah,
See
I
what you
have to
did
I have
there.
to justify one loss with 8 wins.
Wow, fine. About that win percentage, yo. Cult of the Waxing Moon is next. It's a green and 4 generic mana for a 5/4 uncommon human shaman. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a non-human creature, you put a 2/2 wolf creature token onto the battlefield. So this is kind of an enabler. I think the art is totally sweet. I mean, it's just really cool. And if you have a bunch of werewolves, you get wolves. So the rich get richer with this type of card.
And it's just still has decent stats on it, so I do like this card.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. Like, I'm not going to be upset at it, essentially, because it's going to be playing into almost anything I'm doing in green. If I'm playing green, I'm going to have, just by argument's sake, at least 1 to 2 werewolves of some fashion,
Yeah.
just because there's so many of them. So this will allow to give me a bonus whenever they flip around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take that. A Deathcap Cultivator is next. Deathcap Cultivator is a green and a generic mana 2/1. He's a rare human druid. He taps for a black or a green. He has Delirium that says he has Death Touch as long as Delirium is active. So, okay, all right.
I mean,
I think it's
I
fine.
think I think the card's very playable. Yeah, it's an accelerant in constructed, unlimited because just getting the Death Toucher later is great. Accelerating is great. But in constructed, it's already been doing good work. Mostly because Delirium gets turned on pretty easily. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like you don't have to work for it, but if you build the decks correctly, and we're trying to keep figuring that out, this card is going to allow you to get a Death Toucher mid game, accelerate in the early turns, and just being all around decent early threat. So I've been happy with this card.
Sure. I mean, they won't let you play a. They won't give you Land of Werewolves anymore, but they will give you a 2 mana elf, and this one both taps for green and black, which is nice as a fixer in that way.
Especially because I think green black is the delirium colors, and with the mana bases right now, it just kind of like builds this constructed deck. Now you can be black, green, splashing red or white or blue, what have you, but there just feels like a pre-constructed green black delirium deck that we have to figure out like the 20 cards. But there's already a good like 20 cards already figured
Sure.
out for the deck.
Yeah, I mean, Death Cap ultimately like it's great and limited because like both not only get you there early as a mana producer to get you to from 2 mana to 4 mana and so on and so forth, but getting Death Touch is just like sweet, sweet gravy.
Yeah.
Though your gravy probably shouldn't be sweet because it's bad gravy.
Maybe it's Southern gravy. I don't know.
Oh, is that a Southern dig? Did you just Southern dig me,
I don't
boy?
know. It's not even a good dig. It's just because you guys got sweet tea instead of regular tea.
Because you got sweet tea means you got sweet
And sweet
gravy
gravy
versus
and
regular
sweet
gravy.
taters,
Good sweet tater, sweet tater casserole.
sweet grits.
Sweet grit. I love some grits. Grits are good. Equestrian Skill is next. It's a green and 3 generic mana for a common aura. It has enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +3/+3, and as long as the enchanted creature is a human, it has trample. So, okay, this is the I'm getting on my horse. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing. Magic card. Yeah, did you like how I pulled that one back?
Oh, my horse is amazing.
That's right. That's a good 5 to 7 on that one. It's a 5 to 7 year old joke.
I'll
But
take
what?
it.
I'll
Yeah,
take.
it,
That's
it
right.
it might be older, right? Like,
Probably because I'm old, but
yeah, I think it's older than 5 years. I think it might be like back there with Trogdor, isn't it?
no, I don't know if it's that old. I think it's a little bit
Okay.
younger than that. But regardless, it's good. The equestrian skill itself, 4 mana for +3/+3 is fine. You're gonna set yourself up for a 2-for-1, so you got to be aware of that. But if the course is clear and you've got a good human,
The horse is clear.
if the horse is clear,
If the horse is steered,
oh my god.
you're breaking up. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
If the horseshoe fits, dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Don't acquit.
Wow, don't equestrianate. All right, equestrianate, is that even a word? Anyway, it's an enchantment. Okay, we get it.
Bad.
Hey, September 2009 says the chat. So yes, Got there with 7 years.
Right.
A green and a generic mana for Fork in the Road. This is a really interesting spell. It's a common sorcery. You search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and reveal them. You put one into your hand and the other into your graveyard, and then you shuffle your library.
It's also the fork in the road that Evan's going to have later, being like, should I invite Brad back for this again? He was kind of mean this last time.
Yeah. It's I'm already sort of thinking, there's 2 ways to go about this. This could be our swan song type of set.
Oh, well, then I guess I got to hit the ground running while we still have it.
That's right. All the digs with you, sweet gravy. Hashtag sweet gravy. All right. Fork in the Road is cool because, it goes and finds a land. That's great. But rarely have I ever seen it kind of, thin your deck out in a very marginal way, but ultimately let you fuel Delirium, which is what this card's really good at.
Yeah, the card is specifically here to fuel Delirium.
Yes, it is. It exists to fuel Delirium, much like we do with every spell that we talk about. Also fuels Delve, also triggers Prowess. Remember that.
Do you know what doesn't fuel Delirium?
What's that?
Dig Through Time.
Oh, he doesn't dig it. You don't dig it?
Doesn't dig it.
Wow. Anyway, moving back, Fork in the Road is to me, seems like a fine playable spell. If you're reaching for a color, obviously it's good. If you're trying to trigger Delirium, which I think is kind of the key to this card for a green or a green-black deck, this is the perfect type of spell that you want to both fix your mana and give you that land in the graveyard.
Yeah, it's also going to be a card that's good. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play it in a 2-color deck. I'd like to get the splash.
Sure.
And this is the kind of card that's going to help you, along with there's a couple other cards that help you play 3 colors when you have some really good cards that you picked early and just could potentially splash. And Fork in the Road helps that along the way while fueling Delirium.
Well, which lets you in Sealed, obviously it's going to be better because that's more of a slower format. You're able to go get more colors, you're able to play more bombs, and this is the card that will fix that type of stuff for you.
Yeah, it could. I mean, yeah, it does seem very powerful.
So Gloom Widow is back. I'm not exactly sure what set that this was from, but I certainly have seen it before. It's a red and 2 generic mana 3/3. It's an uncommon spider with reach, but could only block creatures with flying. So Gloom Widow is awesome, and I've always enjoyed playing it. It's always been a good card for me, and I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah, this is just a premium card, very high pick. It might become lower because Wizards does love to reprint cards that have gained or lost value in the new format, but that's also just how Magic cards work, so maybe they don't do that intentionally. Mm-hmm. But this card was premium before, and I feel like it's already still going to be a high pick.
Yeah, I mean, and as the chatter is talking about, are we all the way back to Lorwyn?
I thought it was a long time ago.
It's from Shadowmoor to start with, and then it came back in Avacyn Restored. So it was on Innistrad the first time. It did show back up in Avacyn Restored. It's a great card, though, and it kind of remains so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to keep on moving here past Gloom Widow. Next is Graph Mole. It's a green and 2 generic mana 2/4. It's an uncommon mole beast. Really? Mole beast? Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you gain 3 life. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think this card is pretty good.
This card seems really fantastic because if the clues are as prevalent as even I'm convinced of at this point, this card is amazing because A, it's got the big butt, it can't lie, and it's going to gain you a whole bunch of life. It's going to make your opponent really frustrated because they just can't get through no matter what they do. And so that seems terrific.
Yeah, I think that this card is going to be very good. It's going to help get you to your late game bombs. It's going to get you back from those tempo losses from sacrificing your clues, where if they're attacking you in the air with a creature, you can kind of ignore it because if you're generating advantages with clues, you can just pop the clues and you're not losing that life that you're getting dealt, and you can eventually deal with something. So I think that this card is very, very good because you also have to think about it clues are getting you through your deck. You are gaining advantages while gaining 3 life, and that's just phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, would you pay 2 colorless or generic mana, whatever, to draw a card and gain 3 life every time?
All day.
All day, sir. Also, mole is a new creature type.
Is this new?
New. They've never made another mole.
No, I said, so this is new?
Yes, it's new.
That's what, well, yeah, I know, but then you said, no, they haven't made a mole, but I said, is this new?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Then you said no.
Who's on first, dude? Come on now. All right.
Who's on first? I don't know. Is it Steph Curry? I hear his name a lot.
Oh my God.
I hear he gets on first a lot.
Wow. I don't even know if you're trolling me I'm just going to think that you're trolling me. All right.
What's a
Groundskeeper.
troll? Is that a
Oh,
creature
for
type?
God's sake. Groundskeeper is a reprint. It's a 1 green mana 1/1. It's an uncommon human druid that has 1 green, 1 generic mana colon. Return target basic land card from your graveyard to your hand. So, would have been really interesting, I think, in different ways, maybe in BFZ block if there was more ways to get lands in your graveyard, but ultimately it only returns basic lands, so that's a thing. I don't know, man. How good is this thing? Or
It's a
bad
one
is
one
this
for
thing?
one. I'm pretty sure it's bad.
It seems really
It's a
bad.
1/1 for one. I can't see it being good.
I don't like it. We're just going to keep moving. Howlpack Resurgence is a green and 2 generic mana uncommon enchantment that has flash. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf gets +1/+1 and has trample. So much like the red enchantment, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, this one is the green version, which is supposed to make your werewolves ridiculous. And maybe it's enough to get there. Certainly if you have a mass effort, a sort of mass amount of them, it certainly can be.
Especially since it is a flash card in a green red deck, which generally there's not going to be that many of them. There are a few, but not many.
Well, there's so much madness in red, right?
Well, yeah, but you're not going to have. There's no enablers in green, and so I think green red is going to be very werewolf, and the vampires are going to be tinier than the werewolves, but they're going to have the trickiness to keep the werewolves from flipping.
Right.
And so this card is a great way to just pass the turn, get your werewolves to flip, and then play it on their turn to get that boost. Or still in combat, even on your turn, if you get a good enough rate on a trade or a block, you can play this as well.
Absolutely. So Howlpack Resurgence, obviously if you're in the werewolf/werewolves deck, this is what you want to be picking and playing.
Yeah, and that's the only place.
Yeah, it's absolutely only place. Inexorable Blob, as the blobs are inexorable. A green and 2 generic mana 3/3. So with a 3 mana 3/3, it's a rare ooze that has Delirium. The only thing it has is Delirium, which says whenever it attacks, if Delirium is active, you put a 3/3 green ooze creature token onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So it basically kind of clones itself, but not really.
Yeah, and I wish it did just clone itself, because that would have been more interesting, because a 3/3 that needs Delirium just to make another 3/3 is not that exciting to me.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You're immediately going to jump in front of this one and just let them keep their 3/3 token because whatever. Because this is the one that makes more.
Yeah, exactly. So if it was another copy, then it could actually get out of control, and it seemed like it would be a fun subgame for a rare.
Right.
And this is a rare, and so I think that this was just a whiff. Maybe they initially had that, and that was just too powerful or too confusing.
Sure.
But as it stands, I just think that it's. I mean, it's a playable limited card. Don't get me wrong. It's a 3/3 for 3.
No, it's a fine limited card.
That is the fine stats for limited, but it's not that exciting.
Well, look, man. You and I have played with Pack Rat, and this is no Pack Rat.
Yeah, and we also dismissed Pack Rat, so.
Well, yeah, because we had no idea it was that good, so whatever.
Because here at the set review, we never get the shots right.
Well, sometimes, maybe. We do have a pie bet, though, and that's what people
We
want.
are the opposite of Babe Ruth. We never get it in the basket.
Man, you're trying real hard now, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any.
You're working on that one.
Truth be told, I couldn't tell you a baseball player that plays right now. No, there's none. No.
I know of, like, Derek Jeter's a guy. I don't know if he still plays, I guess. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Intrepid Provisioner is next. It's a green and 3 generic mana 3/3. It is a common human scout. It has trample. And whenever it enters the battlefield, another human you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. This is yet another one of those, hey, I brought a horse. My horse is amazing. You should get on it.
Give it a chance. It'll give you +2/+2. I think the card's fine. It might be good. It's good on the front side of werewolves, but yeah, it might be good. I don't know what to say about this card. It probably is good in the werewolf deck.
I mean, it seems fine. It's okay. I mean, another target human, you're probably going to have a human. That's not a big deal. Obviously, you're going to wait until you're able to get that bonus, or at least most of the time you're going to be waiting until you get that bonus. So you don't have to worry about playing it until that happens, but at the same time, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Kessig Dire Swine. Kessig Dire Swine is a boar horror. Look at them green eyes. For a 2 green and 4 generic mana 6/6, so a 6 mana 6/6, it's a common boar horror that only has a Delirium ability, and if you have Delirium, it has trample. So this card seems fine. Like, it's good rate all around, and Delirium is just, the sweet gravy.
Yeah, no, this card seems like a decent card. Nothing too exciting. Have one on the top of the curve. Usually we'll have Delirium by then. We'll have Trample. But if you have not worked towards it at all, it is just a 6/6 that spirits or small creatures could just block.
Right.
So I do like it that it has this built-in Punisher that it might even be one of the only Delirium cards in a deck just because you wanted something bigger on the top of the curve,
Yeah.
but you can't even get there.
Well, I mean, it's one of those like 6 mana 6/6s. Back in the day, there was like 6 mana 5/5s were like the norm. You know what I mean? Like that was the threshold. Is you got at common 6 mana 5/5s.
What was back in the day?
Like Moss Kami.
I don't even know how long ago that was. Oh, Kamigawa again?
Yes, Kamigawa again.
Kamigawa.
Kamigawa's the bomb diggity. What do you want me to tell you? I can't help it if it's the bomb diggity you don't like it. It is the business, and that is one scary piece of bacon right there.
It is funny because you talking about Pauper so often. When you said a 6 mana 5/5, I just immediately thought Fangren Marauder. Because that card
is
right?
crazy good in Pauper.
Yeah.
Crazy good. Loam Dryad is a 1 green 1/2. You read it earlier. It's a common dryad horror. You tap and tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It's almost like that enchantment you like.
Yeah, and it goes in the same deck.
Does it really?
Yeah, I told you that's one of them in that deck.
No, I believe you that, but I'm just like, now that I see it, I'm like, really?
Well, yeah, you can play it on turn 1, turn 2, Elvish Visionary, tap both, play something, turn 4, turn 3, you have 4 mana. It's not so Wizards doesn't want us to just generically stupid ramp from 1 to 3.
Right.
Because 1 to 3 is the busted, right? 2 to 4 to 6 isn't, or even in this form we can go 2, 4, 7. We can play turn 4 Dragonlord Atarkas and Worldbreakers, and Wizards deems that fine.
Okay.
But you have to work for it, right? Rampant Growth doesn't exist, it has to be Runes in the Wake.
Right.
But Loam Dryad getting you from turn 1 to a turn 3 4/4 seems fine. It has been fine in testing. This card does need to be in a really creature dense deck.
Sure.
But it has seemed decent as long as what you're trying to accomplish is good enough.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that your real life experience is better than my just looking at a card during the set review. So maybe it's great. I hope it is.
I mean, I wouldn't say great. I think it is playable.
I hope it's play. All right, so let's go back a little bit. So limited. Now that you're not able to kind of like hone and have exactly the creatures you want in your deck, in a limited deck, is this worth playing?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on what deck. But yeah, if you have a lot of 1s, 2s, and 4s, that's how you build your deck. You want to go this on turn 1, something on turn 2, and then play a 4-drop early.
Sure, and it'll also let you, splash for colors really easily.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is great. Better and sealed usually in that regard, but regardless, mana production is mana production.
Mm-hmm.
Might Beyond Reason is next. It's a green and 3 generic mana common instant that puts 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. However, if you have Delirium, you put 3 +1/+1 counters on that creature instead, because that might, baby, beyond reason.
It is.
You don't even understand it. You can't even reason with that might. It's mightly reasonous.
Yeah, that dude just on fleek.
Dude, he's so fleek. He's so stone cold nutter butter. It's a decent combat trick.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's expensive though. That's the real problem.
Moldcraft Scavenger.
All right, we're moving on. Oh yeah, baby. Moldcraft Scavenger is a green and a generic mana for an 0/4. However, this common fungus becomes a 3/4 when you have Delirium. No joke. Have heard this thing called the Pauper Tarmogoyf.
Sure.
I'm not kidding. Hashtag Pauper, Paupergoyf. Pauper doesn't get a card that's a 2 mana dude that's a 3/4. Maybe it takes a little bit of work.
Think 4s for 2 mana?
I mean, technically, if you want to talk about like the Metalcraft guy,
yeah,
that guy sees a lot of play. So the Paupergoyf thing, I don't know. I think it's adorable, but seems like a stretch.
Oh yeah, no, this is just people on the internet saying hyperbole.
Well, yeah, because hyperbole
Like
is great and it's exciting, but that doesn't mean
and a
it's right.
half. It's great and a half.
And a half.
But
All right, so in the real world, certainly in limited, is this thing playable enough when you have all these delirium enablers?
maybe this is a card that I really don't want to take a side on. I have no idea if this is going to be good or not.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be amazing, but I think it seems like it's playable.
I mean, it's an 0/4 for 2 mana. It can block. Maybe if your deck has a lot of delirium stuff, but not a lot of early game, this is like the early game you want for it.
Sure. Yeah,
Like that does seem good. It does block a decent amount of werewolves, but if they ever flip, it's getting through this piece of fungi. So
yeah. Well, he is a
it
fun
might,
guy.
yeah, he is a fun guy. Well, until you know build a graveyard, then he bites back. He gets
Yeah.
serious.
Then he's a pissed guy. He's a beat your face guy. All right. Moonlight Hunt is next. A green and a generic mana, uncommon instant. Choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf deals damage equal to its power to that creature. Wow.
Yeah,
That guy is dead. That guy you see there in the rain, he is done for.
yeah.
GG.
Courage alone won't keep you alive.
No,
Gross.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
this is another payoff card for a werewolf deck, and it is very good.
Oh, this is a huge payoff card. I mean, this is one of the best removal spells that you could possibly wish for in a werewolf deck. Yeah, whatever it is that you're pointing this thing at is pretty much dead. They don't even deal the damage back. They don't fight. They just kill.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Obsessive Skinner is next. It's a green and a generic mana for a 1/1. However, when it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, which could even be itself. It has Delirium, however, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If you have Delirium active, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So here is your bomb Delirium every turn type trigger. The red one dealt the damage, and the white one gets to tap a creature and all that good stuff. Whereas the Skinner is like, yeah, I'm just going to make my dudes huge, and I'm going to crush your face.
Yeah, it seems like a gravy, uncommon two drop that can scale. Definitely will see play. It's just a good card in a deck trying to fill a graveyard and do a lot of cool things. And just being a 2/2 for 2 is going to allow it to trade with early threats if it needs to and get out of control in the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. This card, this is, good. This is one of the sort of the bomb uncommons that you want to get. Obviously, you want to have Delirium active, however it needs to be active, but they've given you lots of ways to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is fantastic. Pack Guardian is next. It's a 2 green and 2 generic mana 4/3. It's an uncommon wolf spirit. It has flash, and when it enters the battlefield, you may discard a land card. If you do, you put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. So why does it want you to discard a land card again, Brad?
So you can get it back with all of the cool regrowth effects that green has.
Like Groundskeeper?
Yes, and there's another one later on.
Yeah, dude, you solved the puzzle. That's what's
I
going
did.
on.
I did figure it all out. It also has flash,
Right?
so that you can cast it on their turn.
Right, and then you can discard
But
the
it
land
has
immediately.
has no wolf synergies at all.
It is a wolf spirit, though. It is a wolf in spirit. Eh?
Yeah, no, it's gonna flip all your werewolves, create 2 wolves, fuel your delirium,
There we go.
butter your bread.
Woo! Bacon your cheeseburger. That's how we roll up in here. It's happening. So that's cool. This is a good find, man. Like 4 mana 4/3 flash. I'm already in. And if I can discard a land and make another dude, like this card is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this card is very good.
Yep, card is fantastic. All right, Quilled Wolf is next. A green and a generic mana for a 2/2. I'm already a fan. It's a common wolf, and for 6 mana, a green and 5 generic, it gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So it's a great mana sink. It's good early, it's good late, which means I love this card from top to bottom.
Yeah, just very good. It's good. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, we've had effects like this before. It
Yep.
likes eating fruits and rummaging through yards.
Dude, what about vegetables? Are you telling me it's not cool with vegetables?
I'm not really.
You saying you give this wolf a tomato, and it's like, no?
Isn't that a fruit?
Moving on. Rabid Bite is next. A green and a generic mana, common sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Yet again, an amazing green removal spell that doesn't fight, that just says, just kill the thing.
Yeah, they got sick of fighting. It was unfair. Truth be told, fighting was green's way of having removal without it having removal,
Right.
but the color just needs removal. Like if they're going to make black creatures as big as green creatures, they have to give green creatures removal, or it's just like they have to start making green creatures way too big.
Right. And
And
now they can just
so
get them.
yeah, so I like this. I like that it's situational removal. It's not like a black removal spell that says kill something. This has to, you have to have the biggest dog or an equal dog in the race to be able to kill something, and that seems fair for a green deck.
Yeah, and I mean this effect was in red. I want to say it was like crush underfoot or something. I can't remember exactly what it was from. Like we're talking Lorwyn days.
Yeah,
back
no,
in
it was
those
crushed
days.
underfoot.
Awesome. But again, like this just deals damage equal to the thing, and awesome. I don't know. I can't see anything wrong with it. It's not even like you need to play werewolves. It's just like you need to play green
Well, I
mana.
do see something wrong with it. It is a dude biting a werewolf.
You should have seen the look on both their faces.
Yeah.
Root Out is next. It's a green and 2 generic mana common sorcery that destroys an artifact or an enchantment, and it investigates. Hey, we got our naturalized variant. Yeah.
But it investigates. Yeah, I mean, it won't see constructed play. You board it in when your opponent has something, but there's not a lot of them.
Wow. Just ran right through that one.
Yeah, got there.
You know, I think it's going to come to the point where we're going to have like cards that like written signs we can hold up and be
Yeah,
like,
just flashcards.
yeah, this is the same thing we say about a Stone Rain every time. It sucks. Move on. Here's the naturalized variant. You know when you're supposed to play it. Move on.
Well, I also feel like maybe like next set review, we just like both get to just eliminate 5 cards from the set, and we can show the 5 cards after. We can still talk about them,
Sure.
like so we're not taking them out, but we can just talk about the 5 cards that upset us. Like we just don't even want to talk about.
Well, yeah, like we don't want to waste the time or whatever. But, well, this card is different, however, because, as we mentioned, so much clue generation. Is this going to kill your opponent's clues when they're tapped out, and is it worth it for that reason?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's going to be really cool. Like, your opponent's tapped out, and then you go like, all right, I'm going to play Root Out, and I'm just going to take your clue, and I'm going to put it on my side. Thank you.
Maybe, but then it's 5 mana to draw a card when you could have just played a different spell.
Yeah, but then they don't get to draw a card.
That is true, and you want to do all the cool things, and you don't want them to do any of the cool things.
I like to do all the cool things, Brad. That's why we're here. To do
Well,
cool
how about we
things.
go to the next card to do the coolest of things?
Seasons past, ladies and gentlemen. My own spoiler from the set. It is a mythic four generic mana, 2 green, 6 mana total sorcery. Return any number of cards with different converted mana cost from your graveyard to your hand, and then you put Seasons Past on the bottom of its owner's library. Don't exile it, you put it on the bottom. So this is like super uber regrowth, like plus regrowth. So, and I've spoken at it, at length with Aaron Campbell and Ruben Bressler on Magic Mics. So you tell me, buddy, tell me how you feel about this mythic rare.
I feel like it could be a sideboard mid-range mirror breaker. I've played some with it in the main deck of decks, and I haven't liked it because it's not progressing my board.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of matchups where progressing your board doesn't really get you anywhere because both players are just grinding each other out, drawing a bunch of cards, all of that. So I feel like this is a good like green black X mirror match sideboard card that like in my article tomorrow that goes up, I have one of those, and I have what is the card called? It's the 5 mana spell mastery tutor.
That's the demonic pact? No, not demonic
No,
pact.
demonic council. No.
No.
Everyone knows it. It's going to be in the
It's
chat.
all right.
in
The
10
chat will
seconds.
get it in like 3 seconds. So by the
Yeah,
time we get
exactly.
to the
But
thing.
so I have a sideboard with a couple of those, a Seasons Past, some cards like Virulent Plague that I want to tutor up for it,
Right.
and I'll be able to like play that and use Hand Disruption to make sure that my Seasons Past can really take over a game.
Right.
And so I feel like that's where you want this card, but outside of that, it doesn't feel like it's going to do much just because of how constructed it is right now and how permanent based all the decks are.
Sure. Dark Petition. Thank you very much, chat.
Yeah, Dark Petition.
Right. All right. So scooch to your left just a little bit.
Am I
Excellent.
scooting too far over?
Yeah, you're kind of halfway out of the frame. We're good now. Yeah, don't do that. All right, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the C word.
High bet?
No, I'm going to say Commander. What are you talking about? Commander's insane. Commander is amazing. Like, they want this card. I know multiple Commander players who are at Cool Stuff Inc. and they are like flipping out over how cool this card is. This is exactly what they want to be doing with their decks. They have a million cards in their graveyards that have a million different mana costs, because who cares about mana costs when you're playing a casual format? And yeah, you can talk about the spiky constructed, but I'm going there, baby. I'm going straight to EDH. Yeah.
Cheers to you 100s.
Woo! Yeah. Cheers, guys. Second Harvest is next. Speaking of harvests and things, a 2 green, 2 generic mana instant rare. For each token you control, you put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. So it's kind of a doubling season, but only for tokens?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, there are token decks in the format, but you're like, I don't even know if the rate of 4 mana is going to be better than some of them, like a P and Kieran, for example. I'm not buying this card.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it in any constructed format. I don't even know if I can see it in anything but a casual format, you know?
Yeah, I only see it as a potential card, like, let's say in, like, Return to Ravnica with Populate.
Sure.
But there's not a lot of tokens in this format, and they're not really big.
So a clue is a token, right?
Put a token on. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Yeah. Clues are tokens.
So it doubles your clues?
It does double the amount of clues you have. So you can, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this to me, I know, and we're back to it again. We're back to Commander. I know lots of people at this point, because I've hung out with them, who have token-generating Commander decks. That's what they do. They like to make a lot of tokens. They like to do Rite of Replication and do all this other really cool stuff. And this is exactly the type of card they want for their, like, Zagana, let's go crazy with the sweet tokens deck. Yeah, deal with it. Yeah, EDH. Got it. Just get a clue, Brad. Get a clue.
I don't have a clue about Commander.
Silver Fur Partisan is next. It's a green and 2 generic mana rare wolf warrior. It's a 2/2 trampler. Whenever a wolf or a werewolf you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, you put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. Now, I kind of blasted this one in the Magic show because a 2/2 with trample is weird and doesn't make a lot of sense. The other versions, like Thalia's Lieutenant and Diregraph Colossus, you were able to get like a bunch of +1/+1 counters and be able to play dudes to get more dudes and all this other stuff. Well, now they have to be targeted by an instant or sorcery before anything happens. Well, that means the Silver Fur Partisan is going to be the one that's targeted. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but at least you get a 2/2 out of it. And like this card is trying to be the protection of when you say go because you're trying to flip your werewolves, and then they have the instant speed removal that really screws up your game plan.
Sure.
It's going to at least give you something out of that trade.
Right. I mean, and it's obviously fantastic with like pump spells and, you know, and things of that nature, but okay. That's all right.
I mean, it's fine. It's not great, but it's a 2/2 for 3 that will replace itself if you put an enchantment on it and they kill it, you get the 2/2. So
right, you know, which is fine. I mean, like, I'm going to play this in limited. Don't get me wrong, okay? This is a terrific limited card. You're not going to not play it because it's still good on the curve, yada yada. But for me, I was just like, Thalia's Lieutenant is so sweet. Diregraph Colossus is so sweet. And what was this guy doing? What happened? Yeah.
They knew that werewolves were a limited thing, so they kept it limited.
Soul Swallower is next. It's a 2 green and 2 generic mana 3/3. It's a rare worm with trample. However, it has Delirium, and when Delirium is happening, at the beginning of your upkeep, you put 3 +1/+1 counters on Soul Swallower. So it starts to get bigger and bigger, and it's eating little ghost arms. Tiny ghost arms.
Well, eating people, and then they try to escape and they can't.
So are you saying, wait, he eats them twice? He eats the people and he eats the souls?
Well, no, he eats the people and the souls get stuck.
Oh, like in his teeth? Like right there?
Just everywhere. He's so full that they're just coming out.
Dude, it's like when you get
It's
like
a
that
bulimic
piece of,
worm.
like a chip or something down in between your teeth, and you're like, ugh, and you know, Soul Swallow's like, oh, people, man. It's gross. Anyway, this card is great and limited. It's absolutely terrific. Going to do nothing in constructed because none of these type of cards ever do, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Stoic Builder is next, and I'm 99% sure this is a reprint. Checking.
Don't think it is.
Really?
No.
Stoic is not. Wow. Okay. Well, my opinion. My apologies. Stoic Builder is a green and 2 generic mana 2/3. It's a common human. When he enters the battlefield, you return target land from your graveyard. Target land card from your graveyard to your hand. So he regrowths a land. He turns off Delirium, which is a thing. You don't want to do that. I'm trying to figure out, like, he's a 3 mana 2/3. That's great. It is a May ability, so you don't have to kind of, mess it up or whatever. Thank you, chat. Now, Cartographer is a card. It was a green and 2 generic mana, but it was a 2/2 that had this ability. Now, this is a 2/3. It is a strictly better version of Cartographer. So, okay.
Also more built and muscular.
Right.
Like, Drawny Man. What's Drano Man? Down. The Brawny.
Brawny Man.
I know words and stuff and things.
Sure you do with your words and stuff. All right, well, Stoic Builder is a fine man for 3 mana for 2/3. Maybe there's some lands that we're going to get to that makes a lot of sense here. I'm not exactly sure, but
well,
okay.
There's just discard. There's like just going fork in the road into a Stoic Builder, and you just got a piece of card advantage.
Sure. So you get your land back and you to kind of continue your land drops. So
and there is the Evolved Wilds too. Those are the 2 sacrifice.
Fair enough. So we're going to move on here to the next card.
Thunderhide Wolves.
Shows it to me. Thank you. Thornhide Wolves is next. It's a green and 4 generic mana 4/5. It's a wolf. It's common. It's got flavor text. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4/5 for 5. Seems fine. Going to be good in the wolf curves. If you need something big, like, there's just enough of these 4, 5, and 6 drops in the format to just fill out your curve, so you always have it. So you don't need these, like, as high picks, but every deck's going to want access to them.
Right. I mean, it's still good. Like, there's so many wolf matters and wolves get this and whatever that it's probably going to work when it needs to.
Yeah.
And being a 4/5 versus a 5/4 is kind of a big deal as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tireless Tracker is next, and it's the card that has landfall without landfall, just like there was a card with Morbid without Morbid. It's a green and 2 generic mana 3/2. It's a rare human scout. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, you investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, this seems just like a limited all-star.
Yeah, this thing seems absolutely insane. Amazing in sealed, like the all-star in sealed, great in draft, but like an all-star in sealed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a must-kill, and I mean, it might even be better in draft because every deck in sealed has like a bunch of like cheap removal spells.
Maybe. I mean, I can see this guy taking over the game no matter what happens.
Well, yeah, I see it being superb and limited in general. It doesn't really matter what you could be playing. Like 12-pack sealed. I don't really care. The card's going to be great.
Right. Yeah, this card, all right, I'm going to pay 2 mana. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to put a counter on this guy. I've drawn a card. I have a very high chance of drawing a land. I play a land. I put a clue in there. I pay 2 mana. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's just going to become something that has to be dealt with or the game's going to be over. This is the card that wins a game all by itself.
Absolutely. So, is this card constructed playable in any way?
I mean, possibly. It comes down to if Deathmiss Raptor competes with it, because I do feel like they're like trying to fight over the same space.
Sure.
But if it's more powerful than Deathmiss Raptor, I'm shocked because Den Protector is the reason why Deathmiss Raptor is so good, and that card is powerful.
Right. I mean, but if you have the ability to play like, Explosive Vegetation and get 2 clues, and then you sacrifice those clues and this guy becomes a 5/4. Okay.
When's the last time you played Standard?
You know what?
Do things like that.
I'm
going to play this Tireless Striker that's not going to block. The next turn I'm going to ramp, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to sack my clues, and I'm going to have a 5/4 on turn 5. And the opponent's like, I have like 8 things.
So?
Like, you have a 5. I have 8 things. I'll attack you with all. And they're like, block, and they're like, Avacyn.
You know what? I don't care. I can live in my world. You leave me alone.
All right.
Traverse the Ulvenwald, or the Ulvenwald? I'm not exactly sure.
Is this card Traverse?
Oh, it's traversing. It's a green rare sorcery. For 1 green mana, you search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. However, if you have Delirium, if there's 4 more card types in that graveyard of yours, you search for a creature or land card, and then put it into your hand and shuffle your library.
Well, I've talked about this card a lot today in my article, but
Really?
I thought it was spelled transverse.
What?
So Danny West got a lot of editing to do.
Well, he control F'd, I guess, for
I know.
transverse and changed it. Okay, what does transverse mean, Brad?
I just looked it up. I don't even know. I just thought this was what it
I don't even
was.
think that's a real word.
It is. Transverse is a real word. I just lucked out.
What does it
It's an
mean?
adjective situated or extending across something.
Okay.
So
Well,
I guess like when I reach over to grab a pen, I'm transversing.
sure. I mean, one of the things that, thank you, chat, for
Oh
pointing
no,
out
it's
is that
situated or extending across something.
Delirium lets you go get any land, not just a basic land.
Hmm.
And of course, lets you go get a creature as well. Also puts those cards in your hand, not like on top. So we're not talking like even Worldly Tutor, but of course, this is at sorcery speed, so that's different.
Yeah, and I've talked a lot about this in my article. I think this card is going to be a major role player in standard.
Really?
Oh, like a big one. Like I wouldn't even allow you to pie bet with me because it just wouldn't be fair.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be fair. Like this card is going to see a lot of constructed play. It's just helping fix mana bases. Later in the game, you're able to once you have Delirium, you can go get Atarkas, Kalidas, even Woodland Bellower is a situational card that you can go get and then make a 4/5 Sylvan Advocate.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so you can play all these bullets in your deck. You can also play like bullets like Den Protector or Haven of the Spirit Dragon. So you only have to play one Dragonlord Atarka. But if they kill it and you still want another one, you can transverse for the Haven to get back the Atarka.
Sure.
There's just a lot of cool things you can do with this card, and it's very good. Like we even have it in our ramp decks, so you can like turn one transverse for a waste so that you have a better chance of Ruins in the Wake. Because I don't think Ruins of the Wake was playable prior to transverse or
Traverse.
traverse. I am going to call it transverse forever. This
Please
is going
don't
to be
call it transverse
this is
forever.
another caravan of souls. It's uncontrollable. I can't help it now. It has been locked into up here.
Ugh, you're killing me, dude. Traverse. Now you have me almost doing it.
Transverse.
Traverse the Ulvenwald is a pretty powerful tutor, and yeah, I mean, once you kind of explain it that way, it certainly seems absolutely terrific. Ulvenwald Hydra, however, is the primeval titan that kind of wants to get there. It's a mythic green rare Hydra with its star. It has reach, has power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control, and much like a half of a primeval titan, when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Every Hydra has kind of been except that one. What was the one from the core set that lets you?
Endless one.
No. The one that you revealed, Genesis Hydra,
Yeah.
right? That's the one that revealed X, and you get to put one of them into play.
I don't know. I only played Devotion at like 12 tournaments. I think that's what it was called.
I'm pretty sure. Whatever, it's fine. Ulvenwald Hydra, however, like Primeval Titan is amazing. One of the best creatures ever to see
I
standard
consider
play.
it a card that should be banned in Modern.
That's ridiculous. Okay,
Is
I mean,
is it?
maybe. Well, that's the thing. The thing that always gets me about Primeval Titan is that it was always better than I thought it was, and then it was always better than that.
Well, it's also how many decks now have we banned where like the thing the deck did was Primeval Titan? Like I understand that we keep taking the most busted thing out of these decks, but there's a clue at all of these like crime scenes where Primeval Titan's at all of them.
Right?
And so we can continue to let a deck that Primeval Titan exists in just become ban worthy and then ban something in it. Or we can just get rid of Primeval Titan and see what people do. Like for example, the Amulet Bloom decks. Like if they didn't have Titan, they could be a Hive Mind deck, but what else are they gonna be doing with all this mana?
Sure. I mean, and it's banned in Commander, so
Yeah, I
okay.
really do believe that Primeval Titan is ban worthy in Modern and probably should be.
I tell you what, man. Like, so Primeval Titan, he transverses the formats. Is that what we're trying to say?
Yes, he transverses the formats.
Yeah, he does. So tell me about Ulvenwald Hydra, buddy. Don't tell me about an old mythic. Tell me about a new mythic.
I mean, it's a fixed Primeval Titan. It's obvious. Like we can just see it on the card that this is just a fixed version. It just
Right.
goes and gets one land, and that's all it'll ever get. But Primeval Titan was very good, and this card is big and meaty and has reach, which is a really good thing for green fatties to have in an Avacyn world.
Right. Only getting one land once is kind of eh. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want just one popsicle mother. I want two. Like I am spoiled.
I want Dub's popsicles,
Give me
please.
my 2 popsicles.
Give me my 2 popsicles. Hashtag two
But
popsicles. All right.
yeah, like I think that the card is fine. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I bought a set for $12 and felt happy about it because, like, if this card ever, if someone breaks out with it, which could obviously happen,
Of course,
then
obviously.
then it becomes $15, and I'm like, well, shucks.
Oh,
Since I
man.
did with World Breaker, I bought them for $3. Now they're like at 12.
Well, that's
Like
cool.
I just if it's a green middling mythic like creature that could be in a ramp deck that costs $3 and just buy it. Like I don't think it's gonna go down.
No, and I don't think it's not going to be playable in casual formats regardless, but that's sweet. That's sweet. I mean, okay. It's the Primeval Titan that kind of has like the I think I can button on it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do other things, but good thing that we have those things to do. Like this can go get certain lands that can be beneficial. Like you can go get this card is in the deck I was telling you about, the one we did a pie bet on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should stay in the deck, but the original deck had it, and it could go get Westfall Abbeys.
Right. Which is fantastic. And of course it pumps itself because you have more lands, which Primeval Titan didn't do.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't really matter because Primeval
It was
Titan
a
was
6/6.
huge and had trample and all this other good stuff.
The
Ulvenwald,
one benefit I do want to say about Ovenwald Hydra before we go is this card can be a turn 6 spell that flips your Nissa. So decks will want to play Nissa, Vastwood Seer that play Ovenwald Hydra.
ooh, that's
Yeah, you
nice.
can get the early flip.
That's pretty awesome. So, Ulvenwald Mysteries is next. It reminds me of Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if you ever got to watch that show. It was,
I'm not that young.
hey, wait, what?
I'm not that young. Of course I watch Unsolved Mysteries.
Good, as you should. Well, Ulvenwald Mysteries is a green and 2 generic mana uncommon enchantment that whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you investigate, and whenever you sacrifice a clue, you put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token onto the battlefield. So that's terrific. This is like one of those enablers. Obviously, we've seen enough for the wolves, and now we get to see like the human aspect.
Yeah, it is really cool. And this is like one of those themed one of the payoff cards for the green clue deck.
Right, I would say like the green-white human deck, I think this is the card that you want. This is your bomb uncommon.
Could very well be. I agree.
Because there's a lot of humans in white, there's a lot of humans in green, there's a lot more werewolves and wolves in green, and so this is the one that kind of ties those two colors together. Ultimately, it needs a lot of that stuff to kind of work, but regardless, if it's just like, I don't have a lot of, I don't really care if I got a lot of humans or whatever, it's just whenever a non-token creature you control dies, it's basically replacing itself. And then not only does it replace itself, it's giving you a 1/1 for your trouble.
Yeah,
So this card seems pretty terrific.
it does.
I love it. Vessel of Nascency is next. It's a green common enchantment. The last of the cycle that we've talked about, these vessels. For a green and a generic mana, you sacrifice it, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. So this fuels Delirium, first and foremost. That's what these vessels are more or less here for. But with Oath of Nissa around, I certainly don't see this seeing any 60-card deck anytime soon.
No, it's not going to see 60 card deck, but I do have a question, and maybe the Twitch chat could help us with. Is this the first common to ever say the word Planeswalker?
Ooh.
Because I don't, I just like,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
I just assumed that like no common has ever said that. Like somebody said, why does Angelic Gift not be able to just exile any non-creature? Because it's like commons don't kill Planeswalkers. That's just like one of the most like one of the most common basic things about Magic. Like only rares can kill Planeswalkers, but I've never also seen Planeswalker on a common.
Planeswalker has been on a common in reminder text, like for example, like in Trample and things, in that nature. But otherwise, it
But I
has
don't
never
count that.
specifically.
Yeah, I don't count flavor or reminder text as on a card.
No, and I agree with you. Like, has there been rules text
Yeah.
with Planeswalker on a common? I don't believe that is correct, or I don't believe that's ever happened. Rather, so yeah, that's really cool that we actually have a card that does that now.
Yeah, it is really cool. And this card is going to be very good in Black-Green Delirium based decks because being able to get everything that's not a tribal, sorcery, or instant, the other 5 things, like
Right.
they don't want you to miss on this card.
No, you're more or less going to hit. Not only is it like, it's not even just the top 3, it's the top 4. So it's an
Yeah.
even higher percentage to hit something. I mean, for God's sake, you're going to get something, even if it's just a land. Like, oh, I showed 4
Like,
lands, you're
just
getting one of
not
them.
going to miss and get beat down a card. Like you're going to hit on this card every time.
Absolutely. So let's keep moving here. We're going to move on to Veteran Cathar. It's a green and a generic mana for a 2/2 uncommon human soldier, and for a white and 3 generic mana colon, it gains double strike until end of turn. So I was talking about a green-white uncommon before, and this is absolutely the green-white uncommon that is for that human deck.
Yes, it's not going to rumble itself in a lot of the late game scenarios, but just being able to give a creature a human double strike is phenomenal in the late game.
Yeah, I mean it's a mana sink. You can only really use it one time, but you know she's rumbling in the jungling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Watcher in the Web is next. It's a green and 4 generic mana for a 2/5 common spider with reach. Can block an additional 7 creatures in combat, 1 for each other leg.
Which, yeah, I just wish that's what it said. It's like this card can block 8 cards because it's a spider and it has 8 legs to catch things in.
Yeah.
Like, it's so. Watcher of the Web can block an additional 7 creatures each combat. I mean, I guess I'm jaded. I bet there's people that are like, that's because it's a spider.
Oh,
like,
because
they're
it's
at
a
the
spider.
pre-release. They're like, why 7? Oh, it's a spider. That's so cool.
All right, so we got to go back a minute. Thank you very much, Twitch. Let's go back just a second here
To correct me on
Veteran
Vessel?
Cathar. No.
Oh.
She says target human.
Yeah, what
has-
did you think?
I thought she
Said
said
each?
her. Like she.
No, it's target. That's why I said, like, she's not going to rumble late game, but she's going to be throwing another human in or whatever I said.
I see. I understand. So I was taking that as like she's not going to be that good in the late game because she's just a 2/2. And what you were saying is like, well, any of your humans are able to get this ability. So that's
Exactly, yeah. She won't
amazing.
rumble herself, but somebody else will do her bidding.
There you go. Thank you very much, Twitch chat, as usual. Watcher in the Web though is a sweet, like it's one of those thematic, flavorful, resonant cards that you get that it's a spider, you understand it, it's creepy. At least it's a spider, it's got a big butt, it's got reach like it's supposed to, and it's got a cool ability that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Weirding Wood. Really? Weirding Wood is a green and 2 generic mana. I'm not even going there. I'm just going to say it and keep moving. A green and 2 generic mana uncommon aura with enchant land. And when Weirding Wood enters the battlefield, you investigate. An enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. So it kind of replaces itself basically, and it even gives the land that you're enchanting the mana to replace itself.
Yeah, so if you're on 4 lands, you can tap 3, put it on the other one, get the clue, and pop it immediately.
Right, which I think is pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I don't think this card is bad. I think it's going to be pretty good and limited, especially because the set does look like you're able to play 3 colors. Now, we haven't gotten our hands on it, so we don't know which 3 color combinations are like great.
Right.
Maybe it doesn't matter what your other two colors are as long as you're just playing a good stuff green deck.
Sure.
But cards like this, there are enough in the set that it's possible, and I like when you can do that. I mean, hell, maybe we're just playing 4 or 5 color good stuff limited decks.
Sure. So we are barreling our way towards the last cards of the set. We are through all the green cards. Sir, we have gotten through every color in Shadows over Innistrad. Now it's time to get to the multicolors and the artifacts and the lands. It's going to get crazy. Cats and dogs living together. Pure pandemonium.
I've never seen it.
Good gosh. All right, buddy. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you very much for all of the 1,100, almost 1,200 people hanging out watching us do this.
Cool. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, which is terrific. Thank you very much. But until next time, this is Evan Irwin.
Brad Nelson,
Tapping the cards.
so you don't have to.
All right.